Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at this very beautiful 2024 Lexus IS 350 F Sport. Huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. So this IS 350 is finished off in infrared. MSRP is just shy of $56,000. And this is powered by the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 311 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,800-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. It has a top speed of 143 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 17.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 20 miles per gallon in the city, 28 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 110.2 inches. Its overall length is 185.4. It has a width of 72.4, a height of 56.6, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.5 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this F Sport, let's start off with all the gloss black accents that are up front, giving it a really nice contrast against this infrared. So for the hourglass design for the grille, the entire surround is finished off in gloss black, as well as all of the mesh. There's a forward-facing camera, and the Lexus badge is also the forward sensor for the adaptive cruise. Now this also has a set of LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. Very iconic design with that DRL coming to a crisp point along with the bodywork that works its way to the middle of that hourglass section. There's the triple beam design underneath that, and the turn signals are just above that. Now you'll notice too, there's parking sensors up front, and then a lot more contoured lines that surround those headlight housings. So they're very nicely integrated into this front end. And there's also some more gloss black trim accents on both sides and some large air inlets down below. And then from the middle of that hourglass design, those lines actually go all the way up to the base of the windshield. And there's a few more on the top there to give it a really cool look. So it's very distinctive compared to other sedans on the market. And as we work our way to the side, for the F Sport package, this provides it with the F Sport tuned suspension as well as a limited slip differential. And you also get a really nice set of 19-inch alloy wheels with that multi-spoke design to them. There's the F Sport badge, two-tone for the side mirrors. I'd say three-tone with the chrome. So the base is body colored. There's also a camera and a turn signal just underneath the gloss black section. Sunroof up top. All of the window trim matches the wheels very nicely. And then there's some gloss black in the lower side skirt and some very prominent lines, especially going to that rear fender there, and a few in the lower section of that front door. So it has a very nice side design to it as well. And then in back, this has a small gloss black trunk mounted spoiler. There's the backup camera, LED taillights with the bar that runs right through the middle of that trunk. There's gloss black in the lower diffuser, as well as all of the parking sensors, and then the dual exhaust on both sides. Now as we work our way to the cargo space, you can use the button on the key fob or the one to the right of the backup camera. From there, we can take a look at the cargo space for this sedan. It's very practical, it has a good amount of space. Spare tires also located underneath the floor where you could place some other items if you need to. And the back seats do fold down, so that gives you a lot more interior space. There's a small step up between the seats and the cargo space, but nonetheless, you can fit in some larger items. One grab handle over on that passenger side, and it's very lightweight, so it makes it easy to close. Now, as we work our way to the interior, this door panel has a great design to it. It's finished off in all black, along with the gray stitching. There's brushed aluminum on the release handle. There's the window adjustment, speaker down below. No storage in the lower section of the door, however. And then we have solid black for all of these seats. Now at 5'10", it's pretty easy to get into this. I do have the front seat a little bit farther back at the moment. We do have the easy entry and exit, so the seat will go back a little bit. But there's storage pockets behind both front seats, as well as climate adjustments. A little bit of a bulge right in the middle for your middle passenger. But I have plenty of leg room, and my head is just up against the headliner. I have a hat on, of course, so I'm just kind of right up at it. Still comfortable to sit in the back. If you want a little bit more space, you can go with a larger sedan from Lexus, but with the 350, you still have practical back seats. You have the armrest, as well as two cup holders, and a good bit of visibility. So it's pretty open feeling. It's a little bit tight, but it is definitely doable. Now up front, the door panel has the same design. However, there is storage for the lower section. There's memory seating controls, all the window adjustments, side mirror controls as well. F Sport is also down on the door sill. And then a very nice bolstering support for these front seats. They are automatic, so all those controls are down on the side. And then taking a look at the solid and perforated F Sport steering wheel, has a nice design to it. This also has paddle shifters on the back. There's the cruise control stock. Now let's fire this up, take a listen to how this V6 sounds. And coming back to the gauge cluster now, you'll notice engine temperature on the left side, fuel's on the right, and then right in the middle, we can go through some more info using these buttons over on the right side of the steering wheel. So currently there's some MPG and resets that you can look at. There's also range, you have your gear position, you can look at tire pressure, change your miles per hour to kilometers per hour. There's also a calm screen, and then we are back to current. Now, if you want to go through some more information, just push on this button right here, and you will actually be able to push the tach over to the right. So with it over to the right, now you have a little bit more info that you can go through on that left side. So there is some info that you saw within the middle, but we do have a few other items that you can scroll through as well. So you can pull up all this information, which is nice, including all of the standard safety features that you can go into and have on or off and set up everything the way that you would like to. When you're done, put the tach right in the middle and you can hide all that information away. Now also over on the right side, there's the distance pacing with the lane keeping assist. Left side, there's Bluetooth and voice commands along with mode, tuning, and volume for the audio. Now over on this left side, there's the automatic headlight adjustments. There's even a view button for the camera system. So push on that once, and this is the view that you are going to get. You can also change it to more of a top-down view. You can pause this too. So that will appear when you're ready to leave your parking spot. You can push on that just to double check. There's also a rear sunshade. So by pushing on that, you can raise and lower that as needed. There's the trunk release, hood release, odometer, and some dimmer switches. And then there's one air vent. And as we work our way to the infotainment system, this is a touchscreen system, or you can use the controls down below. So there's map menu along with this trackpad and a control just behind that. So with it on map right now, I can actually push on the lower right and pull up some various information on that right side. So that way you don't have to exit out of the map if you are going somewhere and you need to see that, or you can minimize that and have everything in full screen. Now, if I click on menu down below, this is how we can get to apps. So you can go into those just depending on what you would like to download and update. You can also go into your phone projection. So that's how you can pair your phone to the system. There's audio and phone along with your climates and setup. So you can easily get through all this information. Pretty simple, but it gives you everything that you need. Now there is a clock underneath that with an air vent on both sides. And then there are physical controls for all of the climates. So when you adjust the fan speed, you have the slider bars here to adjust the temperature further. You have recirc, dual, and then you have some defrosters too. Underneath that, for the 24-year model, there is a CD player, power and volume, along with tuning, and a few more audio adjustments. And then underneath that, you'll notice that we have the heated and ventilated seat controls, as well as the heated steering wheel too. Now with the shifter, let's put this into reverse. Backup camera will appear with the guidelines, and then you have two different angles depending on the view that you need to see. There's drive, and then the manual setting. So you can shift using the shifter or those paddle shifters, of course. Now over on this right side, there's a few different driving modes, which are a part of the F Sport package. By twisting on that, there's Sport S and Sport S Plus. You can also push down on the dial to go into normal, and then twist it to the left for eco mode. There's also an additional snow mode, traction control, and auto hold. 2 cup holders, and then opening up the center console or the center armrest, there's some additional auxiliaries and plenty of storage space. And then there's also additional space in the glove box. Now there's some garage door buttons at the bottom of the rear view mirror, touch sensitive dome lights, and then controls for the sunroof. The sunshade is manual adjusting. And then this is the visibility from the driver's seat. You can clearly see over both shoulders. Now that we're setting off behind the wheel for the IS 350 F Sport, I've been able to drive this sedan quite a lot recently, and I want to go over some of the comments that I've seen in previous 350 F Sport reviews. Let's start off with the interior design, exterior design as well. for the 350. This is something that has been around for several years with some minor tweaks here and there, but a lot of you want to see a refresh and an update for the IS 350. So we're in the 24-year model. That I believe 2025 is going to be a refresh or a completely new design for this car. I am hoping to see that, as well as I know a lot of you are. So hopefully 2025, maybe for the 26-year model. Toyota and Lexus usually go around 10 years or so before they do anything drastically different. So this design has been around for at least 8 or 9 years. It's getting very close. So that's the biggest comment that I've seen with the 350 is it needs a refresh, it needs an update. A lot of you don't like the CD player, but a lot of people who buy Lexuses actually use the CD player. Otherwise, Lexus would ditch that and not use it. So they're listening to their consumers with the CD player as well. But aside from that, it's a very, very nice car. I'm excited to see what Lexus will come out with next. So that's about it for the interior, exterior. Not much to talk about the exterior. I really like the exterior styling, but maybe they'll change that slightly as well. But let's talk about what this is like to drive. A lot of people do like that NA V6. If you want to go with more power, you can go with the IS 500, which gives you the NA V8. But for this V6, sounds pretty good. It's pretty quick to get up to speed. And the shifter actually is pretty responsive. I generally like using the paddle shifters, but a few of you like to see how the gear shifter works. Pulling it towards me is how you downshift, and pushing it forwards is for your upshifts. So from third gear, just a mild acceleration. It sounds pretty good, but again, if you want that V8 engine, go with the 500. And with the F-Sport, you get that tuned suspension. So this handles turns incredibly well. Now, I wouldn't call this a performance-oriented vehicle necessarily. We have the handling characteristics of a performance car. So if you're looking for something that is going to give you just a little bit more, but you're not looking for that next step, you don't want the IS 500 or some other vehicle that gives you even more power. You want something that's going to be a good daily driver, but you want some of those handling characteristics. So if you're on some back roads like this, you can actually have the handling to keep you nice and planted, feel super solid going around those turns. With this F-Sport tuned suspension as well, I'd say it's a good blend between being a comfortable daily driver and still being stiff enough to take some of these turns. So it's not a harsh ride, but it still stiffens up around some of those turns. So it's a good blend. I think Lexus did well for the suspension that is in this. And from second gear, here we go. Paddle shifters are also responsive, mild acceleration there, but this is pretty quick. This has a lot more potential than what I'm throwing at it today. Redline looks to be just under 7,000. So you have a big range to play with this car, especially on some twisty roads on the mountains. It's something that's going to give you that fun driving experience without an overabundance of power. So like I mentioned earlier, if you don't want something that's crazy powerful, you can still get a very fun, luxury-focused and performance or handling type of sedan to drive. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the IS 350 F Sport. I will say too, it's nice for visibility that these side mirrors are pushed back slightly, so you can actually see in between the pillar and the mirror. Definitely helpful for that passenger side. And we have a lot of nice materials. For a vehicle that's in the mid $50,000 range, I think everything is nice. We do have a little bit of plastic on the door panels here, but it's covered in a material, so you're not actually seeing the plastic itself, just to give it a little bit more of that luxury vibe. But it's a great car. It handles well. I really like the steering of this car. And then we can get back up to speed here. Nice exhaust note to it, not overly loud for a luxury focused vehicle like this. But again, for the price tag of this, you can get into a luxury brand like Lexus. This is going to be a very reliable vehicle to go with. And I wouldn't say that it's overpriced. Maybe with a little bit more technology, it would be nice to see for the money. but I think for what you are getting overall package-wise, I think it's a really good sedan for the money. It's super quiet too, as we have all the traffic passing us. So again, great daily driver, something that you can drive for 10 years until the next model comes out. So if you are someone who likes to own your vehicles for a long period of time, this is a great option to go with, and then you can upgrade as needed. We got a few twisties here. Even at speed, it is so planted, so direct in that steering. That is going to wrap it up for the 2024 Lexus IS 350 F Sport. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick Lexus Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. Give the video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.